and I always think it's really cool because in Luke 12, 22 through 34, that's the passage that talks about, don't worry, like I'm taking care of the ravens, I'm taking care of the lilies of the field. And so when I look at creation, when I look at nature, when I'm outside, I'm like, this is gorgeous, this is beautiful. Look how God has taken care of, this tree. How much more is he going to take care of me? And it kind of reminds me about that. So that's what, for me, nature, being outside, does for me. But, when I do have a family, I can't wait to share my passion for the outdoors with them. Take my son and daughter fishing and just hang out with them. I had the opportunity, like I was saying, that my dad got to go to the creek with us, and he took us fishing, and he played in the backyard with us, and I can't wait to take that quality time with my family, with my wife, with my kids. What's really cool for me is to see over the last year all the people that God has brought into my life, and when you're doing something for God, when you feel called and you're listening to Him and you're having a relationship with Him and you're walking with Him daily, it takes away the worry of like, am I going to do well in this meeting? Am I going to say the right things? Am I going to say the right things in this video? Right before I came on here, I was thinking, God, just give me the words, and it just takes that stress away, And along those lines, God also brings the right people into your lives. And for me, with At Work on Purpose, that's been just such a blessing in my life. The people that the community that I've been surrounded by because of At Work on Purpose. So I just feel like I wanted to say something about how God really, if you're in His will, if you're following Him, if you're listening to Him, He's going to put the right people in your life. He's going to put the right opportunities in your life. He's going to bless you. He's going to honor. He's a faithful God. The big goal for me in life is to listen to God, to put Him first, and then the rest falls into place. It's really as simple as that. I can try to elaborate all I want, but ultimately the goal for me is just to listen to God and have Him direct my steps. Because like I said, everything falls into place after that. I think it's different for everybody. Listening to God is a tough thing, and I'm always trying to learn how to hear from God better, right? But I really feel like the Holy Spirit convicts you. It kind of happens in different ways for different people. But if you feel a conviction about something, a lot of times that's God speaking. If you, like I was saying, if you have something on your heart that just won't go away, it's just been there for even years, decades perhaps, a lot of times that's God speaking. And the more and more we start to kind of be in tune with that and listen to that, He starts to put more into our lives and speak more into our lives. And that's the kind of the Holy Spirit kind of coming through, flowing through us, and eventually just is a constant stream just kind of flowing through you, where you can have a conversation with God, listen to Him, hear what He has to say. A lot of times it requires discipline to be quiet, don't say anything, don't distract yourself with your iPhone or with your, BlackBerry or whatever it is. Just go away and listen. So, and a lot of times also you have to ask. You have to ask God questions. You have to talk to Him in order to. It's just like any other relationship. You're not. If I don't talk to my mom, I'm not going to hear from her. Well, that's not always true. She'll call me, of course, but you get the idea. I believe God can talk to anybody. I think that God will reach you where you're at, whether we decide to listen to it, whether we decide to open our eyes, open our ears to it or not. That's up to us. We do have the freedom to choose, but I believe that God can and does speak to everybody. It could be through something that happened. It could be through an accident. It could be through a relationship. It could be through nature. It could be, through your kids. It's different for everybody, but I believe that God speaks to everybody. It's whether we listen or not. The reality is we're all receiving information from two sides as it is. We're all hearing from God. we're also all hearing from the evil one. There's a battle going on, whether we know it or not, whether we decide to recognize it or not. There is a battle going on, and then it's up to us to discern what we're hearing, and then produce, either good or bad out of that. Once you hear from God, and once you decide to listen to God, like I was saying, you're always hearing from God. But once you decide to listen to God and perhaps follow God, it's not like all of a sudden the evil one stops, tempting you and stops talking to you, and life just gets all like, oh, everything's good. No, it's not like that. I mean, it's still a journey. It's still a battle. There's still two sides, always. But it's just a matter of walking, growing in your relationship with God, becoming closer, learning how to hear from Him, learning how to discern what's from Him and what's from the evil one, and then again, producing the good fruit. I've found that I have to put my trust into God's hands. If I don't put my trust into God's hands, then I start looking at myself and my own capabilities, and I'm like, oh shoot, that's just not going to work out. I can't do it. I can't start this company. I can't make it successful. I can't reach millions of families. But God can. That's why I put my trust into Him. We're made by God and we're made for God. We're made in His image. We are His. So if we're not following Him, if we're not in a relationship with Him, there's something missing. It's hard to explain what's missing when you've never really decided to listen to God and follow God. That's actually kind of makes me a little sad. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit, because I think some people go their entire lives knowing that something's missing, sensing that something's missing, but never knowing what maybe. So, I do think that we can all sense it. We can all sense that there's something bigger. There's something that needs to be fulfilled in our lives. It's just a matter of finding what that is, and hopefully, it could be that a good friend tells you. It could be that you're on a hike one day and God just totally reveals Himself to you. But for all of us, at some point, we do sense that there is something bigger. There is something that needs to be in our lives, because we are made in His image. We are His. I truly believe that birds and trees are made by God. I believe that because of faith. I think that faith is a really difficult thing to understand if you've never experienced it for yourself. But it's something that just goes deeper. It goes beyond us. Like I was saying before about there's something, we're made in God's image. There's something deeper that needs to be filled in our lives. Same kind of principle can be applied to why I believe that God is in the trees, God is in the birds, God is in the mountains. It's a faith thing. When I look at them, I just kind of sometimes have to sit back and be like, whoa, this is huge. This is beyond me. This is big, and that's where it's the jump from reality to faith. Using faith to take that jump from what we can see, feel, touch to God. So faith fills that gap for me. It doesn't really matter what job, income, or occupation you have. What truly matters is that God is honored and that we are at work on purpose.